Alright, so it's been a while. I said we'd do Handbuff. We're going to go for Handbuff. Now, this is not an optimized deck list. We're just playing every single Handbuff card I could think of while playing Devotion with Torque, other than one, which I will mention when we get there. But this is just going to be basically all in on Torque Handbuff, seeing how many points it actually gives you. So for that purpose, we have the Enchanted Armor. We have a few top-end cards here. We want to buff Philangerville, we want to buff our Aglace, we want to buff our Sheldon. All three are good targets. So we're going all in on Handbuff with Torque. We want to have at least one of these in our starting hand, preferably two. So I'm running all three just to make sure we have one in our hand to buff up. There's an argument that's not the best plan, and I'm sure it's not the best plan, but we want to go for it and see how it does here. Simloss is going to pull out our nature cards, especially Bountiful Harvest is what we want to get with him. Bountiful Harvest is really strong. Call the Forest to pull out some stuff for consistency. Ithlin's going to buff up in our hand. It's pretty self-explanatory. Mentioned Aglace and Sheldon here. Torque's the whole point of this deck. He starts in our hand because we're running Devotion. Whenever he's boosted, you boost a random unit in your hand by the same amount, different unit. Potentially allowing you to triple up and always double up on the hand buffs. So this is what might make it strong. You just have to watch for tael removal and stuff. It should be pretty annoying if we find any, but hopefully we don't. We have the Fall for more nature cards. Sursa here, she also has a hand buff. We're just playing all the hand buff stuff we can. Luck buffs our hand, Bountiful Harvest buff our hand, and also play a card. Really nice. You can pick between the best card and the best location to buff, or just get lucky and get both. Hawker Smugglers buff our hand, we're running those. Two Nature's Rebukes for removal. This is the only card that's not really focused on the hand buff here. That and the Sorceress. The Sorceress, though, can give us a card. Nature's Rebuke I mentioned, Circle of Life buffs in our hand. Sorceress, I just wanted to run Sorceress. Sorceress is a really strong card when she's buffed, so she's one of our buff payoff cards essentially. You hand buff her, preferably to 6, then she can make another Bountiful Harvest. Ideally, it's not always going to happen, but that's the idea there, and you protect her. Malcolm Definer's an engine once you've got the buff on him. Watcher of the Valley, it's just another payoff card for the boost. We want as many of those as possible, and he is one, so there he is. And then the one Saboteur here to hand buff. And that's it. It's a pretty simple deck list, just running as much hand buff as possible. You can go on Enchanted Armor and Invigorate. Let's just see how it goes. I imagine this deck will not do very well. I don't think it'll be too competitive, but it might be a bit of fun for a little bit. And I want to try it out, since I said we were going to try out Handbuff. Alright, here you'll notice the names are visible. I recorded these games and this whole video back when the expansion first came out. But it's coming out now, because I had more stuff I was interested in, and the deck wasn't as good, and it's not that competitive. But we're here to share it now, and let's just go back to the original video then. Saboteur's not bad. I wish we didn't have to run Saboteur. I really just don't like it, but it's a hand buff card, so we're running all the hand buff cards. And I think we're running all the hand buff cards that are in Devotion. With this Rebuke back. Let's see, I don't like the Saboteur, but we could keep it because what's Philangerville? I don't really want to. Right, we are actually holding both Bountiful Harvests, but no Simloss. Basically why I kept them here. We can always Simloss for double Rebuke or something else. Should be pretty interesting here. Now, he's going to be running, it's probably Hyperthin. If he's playing Mill right when the expansion comes out, I mean, those people are kind of annoying, but if he's running Mill, we'll probably actually win a game with hand buff. Although, based on the Crystal Skull, I don't think he is. He's probably trying out something new. Viper Witcher Adept's making me suspicious, though. Making me suspicious. Could be Colgrim. I don't know, let's play Hawker Smuggler. The thing is, if it's Colgrim, for example, he might Coded Weapons this, but then we get it back next round. That wouldn't be bad. Attorney Joust. Okay, so there's a bit of control. Let's see. I want to buff Torque with as much as possible. So that means Bountiful Harvest. We'll actually Bountiful Harvest now and get left. It'll be on Aglace, or it would be on the Defender. Those are both pretty good. Or we can just go for the best unit. That has Defender. This is random. Let's do this one. I like this. Is much stronger. Potentially we can remove this engine, actually. It would be really good. Torque doesn't always start in the same spot in your hand, but obviously he starts in the far left or far right. That becomes a lot stronger, just because you can hit him consistently with the Bountiful Harvests. A Force Protector could replay Bountiful Harvest. I think it's probably better than Aglace, but yeah, we're running all three payoff cards. By the way, I said we're running all three payoff cards, and we have two in our hand, all three in our hand right now. So this is like the opposite. I was running all three just to make sure we had one in our starting hand, because unlike units you want to play, you can't tutor them to your hand unless you're running Iris. So let's go Bound Powers. Ooh, I really want this Sorceress. Let's go here. Oh, we hit Torque. Beautiful. So there's a couple buffs here. This Definer's getting pretty big. Pretty big indeed. Kind of curious what his deck is. I would if it's Clog, he'll get the what's the Viper Witcher? Oh, Viper Witcher will be coming out pretty soon. Oh, he's going for Vorius. All right, I'm confused. Officially, I don't know what this is, but it's beginning expansion, so we'll find out what it is. It might be something new. You never know. Might be something new. He only had one?
Truly electric.
Got a nice hit there, though. The sorceresses we really want to... Well, we have them in our deck. We really want to buff them before we play them. And obviously that's not what's going on here. Because that one we spawned. Okay, so he's going to do that. Double Temperature Adept. That's pretty strong engines. And you'll notice here, this is the main weakness of Handbuff. Your round one is incredibly slow. Let's go this, though. And what do we pull out? Pull out Simlas.
Not ignorant.
We cover double Circle of Life here. There's two good targets. We hit Torque with both. This is a lot of carryover. Quite a bit of carryover. So the thing that's problematic here is for Handbuff. The way you beat Handbuff is you win round one, you bleed round two. By bleeding round two, you force out every card they've buffed, and then their deck becomes worthless. If you get them all out. Which you probably can. I wouldn't say worthless, but it becomes so bad. It's like Hyperthin. If you force out all the Hyperthin stuff round two, the deck's not very good. Same concept. You force out all the buffed cards round two. And everyone knows that, so that's a problem. Now I think we play one more card. Maybe we Invigorate. Invigorate is a carryover, and these are all cards I want to buff. The thing is then we'll have to play... Okay, this is going to be either Mage Assassin or a Fawn. Maybe a Fawn here. 27 is not really something I want to mess with. And there's a Knickers too, so Hyperthin. Can we win if we keep playing? We could, but I don't want to. It's too risky. Too risky. Okay, let's see what's next. We have the Bonded potentially, but I don't think it's going to be that useful. Rebuke's no good against this matchup. Ithlin's really nice to have. Do I want the Bonded? I don't think so. Sorcerer could buff us, but without other damage, it might be hard to set up. Mage Assassin's a nice target, though. I think he's only played one. We can hit the other one. Obviously, he's going to have two tael... Well, he's going to have tael removal in Vilgefortz. He's going to have a big hit in the Triss. Other than that, not too much damage. He's already done almost all of his thinning, so it's be pretty simple here. You could just Ithleen, but Dunk gives us more value over time. If he passes here, it's worse. If he doesn't pass, it's better. Man, Torque absorbing all these buffs today. Quite nice. Should do that every game. The thing is, I think once people start figuring out what to play, this deck's gonna be really bad. It's just too easy to play against the whole strategy. As you win round one, bleed round two, basically what he's gonna do here. Now, unfortunately for him, we've actually been able to hit our buffs really well on Torque and stuff, so it won't actually work out. Because his deck in particular has a really tough time with a round two push, like a game-winning round two push, just because he's gonna have to have the Triss, Yennefer, or PCs all prepared. Sorcerer has two here. Same with the Harmonies, I don't think it's going to help very much. We'd have to play her for Dunka, but we definitely want to play Dunka first. We can hit this Mage Assassin, though, coming up. Ithleen just gives us more carryover. She's less points in the round she's played in, so we'll play her first. But unfortunately for him, this is a matchup where we're kind of favored in our game plan, not in the overall game. I don't know about that. By the way, I like here how we have had Aglace and Sheldon since round 1. And neither of them have gotten any buffs, and our Phalangeral's gotten only 2. So that's not great. Sursa probably the play here.
All males are your foe.
Yeah, they're just dodging all the buffs. We'll get him round 2 with some, or round 3 with some stuff here. He already got his knickers out, right? Yeah, we're not worried about that. I think I knew he did. But if he didn't, we just click the order here on our Dunka to make sure that we don't lose. But knickers already came out. Good to check for that. Now, Hakun Defender might actually be the card to keep. Sorceress is nice. Let's see. Do I want the other Smuggler? I don't want that. Ended up with basically the same hand. So, Torque here, really big. I want to play some units. I want to have Agalates in my hand, Torque in my hand, Sheldon in my hand, Phalangerville in my hand. Or we could play, we could play Phalangerville here for Bountiful Harvest. Let's do that actually. Between like 4, we could go for the middle guy, and then set up our Bonded, and he won't, we'll have the Bonded set up, and maybe he won't expect it. You know, what the heck, let's go for it. Seems like it could be fun. It also buffs our Aglace, which is certainly not bad. I mean, our Sheldon and Aglace here really dodging most of these buffs from Torque, but they can't dodge him when I Invigorate, and we'll be Invigorating pretty soon. Now we have access to 7 damage on Watcher of the Valley, just because we have the Bond set up, and he probably won't expect it. At least I don't think he'll expect it. If he does expect it, he's got some really big brain. Although whatever he's thinking, I wish he'd just do a little bit faster. Or like do anything. Just think about our game plan then. Okay, there's Imperial. Is this Tibor and Imperial Golem in his deck? Why is he playing Imperial Golem now? Must have both. I want to get one of these defenders out. I want these guys starting to get their value. So I want Torque, and the 3 payoff cards in hand. And then we have probably play Watcher next. There's Snowdrop. Okay, yeah, I'm confused. He must have Tibor as well.
Listen to me sing, damn it.
Yeah, Snowdrop only draws you 1 here, buddy. Let's see, we could kill it. It's probably safest to kill it. We could kill his Watcher of the Valley too. Let's play this lady. He probably doesn't have any control. He's shown 1 turn he Joust, but against our deck, maybe he doesn't keep any control in hand. I want to buff this other defender, so I want that in the hand for Invigorate, and all the other cards are get better value than she does from the Invigorate, so be greedy and play her here early. And he's gonna kill it. Not very surprising. Yeah, he's drawing Tibor and Imperial Golem. That's the thing some people... He didn't kill Sorceress. I guess it's probably not as good for him to kill Sorceress, but Sorceress is good for us to have. So, we can Invigorate now. See what Torque decides to buff. Okay, sure, you can buff those. It's literally the 2 I didn't want you to buff, but you know what? It's fine. We'll be okay. Hey, at least Sheldon got 1 this time. We'll throw it on this defender. Let's actually click this first. Waylaid's nice here. We can get the Death Blow. Then we'll play this other defender. So, he is a really strong short round. But, he's already used Triss. He has Vilgefortz, probably for offensively. We'll kill our Torque or something. Plus like 16 plus 5 is like 21 on that. And he has, what is it on Yennefer? 16. It's 47 points there. And let's see, those are his last 2 cards. This will be a pretty big hit from Watcher of the Valley though. 10 damage. He's got 47 and 2 cards, which is kind of scary. So we need to get quite a bit ahead here. We'll lock our defender, makes sense. We could play Sheldon only does 3 damage, which is really annoying, and Agnes is only going to buff by 4. I don't think he's any more drawing. So we will be risky here and not kill the one guy yet. Get an extra point this way if we don't kill it with our Nature's Rebuke. I don't think he has any drawing cards left. If he did, it'd be really weird. Because he would risk messing his hand up. We'd have to put back the same card he drew. I don't think he would do that. So even if he does do that, and boost Snowdrop, it's going to be such a low point play. But I'm not concerned, really. There's the Heat Wave for 14. Okay, so he still has 47. So we really need a lot of points here. I think we just kill this Golem now. So, we need him to Vilgeforce before we play Torque. But I don't think he's going to. Don't really see that happening. He knows we're buffing Torque. So Aglace is 12, that puts us to 47. And then Torque puts us to 67. He's going to have 16 on Yennefer, puts him to 25. Vilgeforce gives him 5 and makes us go minus 16. So that puts us at 51.
Nothing to pick up when I'm done with you.
So he did that, alright, so Vilgeforce puts us at 51 and him at 30. And he has our Theseus for 18. I think we got this. It's gonna be close, but I think we win by like 4-ish. So Zethius puts him to 52, he goes to 57. Right. No, he goes to 58. He's gonna be 58. And then we're gonna pull out a 4 when he kills this. So we'll go to 51. He might win. No, he goes to 43. He goes to 48. And then we go to 51 probably. I think we're fine. It'll be close. I think we win by 3 or 4. There's that. 43. Then he goes to 48 after Vilgefortz. And then we get 4 back. So we'll think we win by 3. By 3. I think that's what's going to happen here. I don't see anything else that would really work out for him. I just wish he'd do it a little faster. There's going to be a big Vilgefortz, but not big enough. There's too much carryover in these hand buffed cards for him to deal with. Short round, Hyperthin. Not quite enough here. Even though normally it would be. We just had so many points carry over, there's nothing he can do about it. And there's the Vilgefortz. Goes to 48. We go to 50. Oh, that's right, we have the Saboteur. Forgot about him. Thanks a lot. Still win by 2. Okay, so this is going to be potentially the Patience Magus with Rafard's Vengeance. It could also be the Siege version. Whichever one it is, I think has a good matchup versus us. So it'll be really difficult here. Now, this game could be completely pointless, because if he's running Bloody Baron and Viraxis, there's no way we can ever win this game. So that'd be pretty annoying if that was the case. People don't do that though, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I haven't seen Bloody Baron a lot. Or actually, I don't think I've seen him at all. So the thing we're really scared about is the new Meditating Mages. We don't actually have control to deal with those. I think those usually run Pincer Maneuver though, so I don't foresee that being a problem here. Although he could have a few of them. He won't like overload on it with a Darin, but he could have a few, certainly. Does have the Crystal Skull to protect something. And there's the Rafard's Vengeance. Is he just gonna zeal it or not? Is the question. I would. But he does. There's a Banard student. Now, the thing is, we do have double Nature's Rebukes, and we do have Simloss. So we could pull Simloss for double Rebuke. The thing is, he's already buffed up with Crystal Skull. And then we have to like dunk to hit it before we hit it with one, or we'd waste value on the Rebukes. Not a great situation. I think we just go for Handbuff here as much as possible. Like Dunka, Smuggler. So he's not going to kill us yet. He wants to set up more mages probably. Probably the Arathusa student as well. Probably wants to set that up. So we can go Smuggler. We could even go Fauve into Call of Force into second Smuggler. That's really greedy. But I think we have to be greedy to have a chance here. I think we need to do that to have a chance.
The confirmation of receipt.
Okay, there's the Envoy. That's nice for us. It's not going to give him his crew. So no damage from Rafar's Vengeance. Thank you for checking that. She is in fact not a mage or a soldier. Yeah, we're going to play Hawker Smuggler, I think. Let's do that. I really want a Fauve into the last Hawker Smuggler. That potentially just like play down to 4 cards. There's a Winch. Okay, so this is going to be difficult then. There's a Ballista. We're going to lose a Smuggler. This looks like the Siege version. Siege version is really difficult. Let's just kill this. Buff our Torque wherever he is. And then maybe we keep our Hawker Smuggler alive. Obviously, that would be the most optimal case here. Okay, we're going to lose Dunka to Boiling Oil. Then we're going to lose that to that. And now, here's the problem. I think he's running Siege. And if he has Reinforced Ballistas, which obviously he's going to, I think we just lose every unit we play. But we can't keep playing this round. That's the problem with Handbuff. At least in my experience. And in past expansions too, or past patches too, still has been the issue. Your gameplay is so easily countered by your opponent playing differently. Like most of the time they don't even have to run specific cards to counter you. So say for example the what's a good example of a deck? Like the Melusine deck. You counter Melusine by including Xavier. And the same thing with the new Ryogan the Undying. You counter him with Xavier and Squirrel. So you put cards into your deck to counter it. Some decks you just counter with gameplay. So this is one. What's another one? It's a good example. Let's see. Hyperthin's another one that's not as vulnerable. But like if you play versus Hyperthin, you win round 1, bleed out their finishers round 2, and if they don't have them round 2, you win. Or you go for long round 3. In long round 3, their powerful short rounds kind of nullified. Stuff like that where you can negate by your gameplay how stuff goes. Or actually really good examples are Mill and Rat Clog. Against Mill, you win round 1, you win the game because their round 2 is awful. And then against Rat Clog, you see what's coming, you win round 1 and 2. They're forced to play their rats early, not in round 3, and can't clog your rows up, and you win. Hyperthin, or not Hyperthin, those like examples of where you can counter the deck by gameplay, and they're inherently weaker than decks that you have to counter with cards included in your deck. This is one you can counter with gameplay, so it's weaker than a lot of other stuff. It's always going to be a problem, I think, for Handbuff. Unless you can just buff your entire hand round 1 and 2, which is kind of the point of Invigorate, right? If you need to, you can just buff everything round 1 or 2. Now, this time we have Sheldon and Philandroville, both of them here. Now, Philandroville I want to get to 10, I think. There's John Natalius.
Has yet to speak its last.
Let's see if he's going to go here. Why is there a Cursed Knight? I'm thinking here. I have no idea why there's a Cursed Knight. Can someone explain this to me? I'm sure there's a reason. Kind of curious if this is the real Wang ID or not. Wang 64 live. I'll check afterward. If it is, I'll put it in the. I'll put like a text in or something. 'Cause I'm confused. I'm sure there's a reason for this, but I mean, this used to be a thing when Trig V wasn't, when Rupture was different. Let's just go for buffing here. Doesn't matter. If we go random, we could get Torque. If we go left, we get Philandroville, which is also pretty good. I want him to be at 10. So we just kind of now, we actually goes to 12, we could get our, well, Waters of Broccolon. That sounds fun. Let's go for that. Now, Torque, please do not hit Philandroville. Thank you. And I think we just go for Philandroville Waters. This is kind of what I was thinking when I wanted to make Harmony hand buff. I tried it out actually before this deck. I tried it out for a while, couldn't make it work. Now we're just playing all the hand buff cards in to see if hand buff works. Philandroville's a good opener then. Double Watchers, do I really want the Bonded that much? I don't think so. Let's get our Waters here. Let's see. If he has Siege, he's going to start hitting us a turn earlier here, but we're going to have to go in this row eventually. Maybe not. Maybe we should have played it ranged. Melee. I don't want to roast stack too much though, because he could be playing the buffed Sabrina. I don't want to play into that. I think that's a little bit scarier than this. I think we should rebuke this, right? I think we kill it. What's next? He probably has reinforced ballistas or ballistas. How do we kill those? We can kill a regular ballista with a Circle of Life. Reinforced ballista, we'd have to hit with Circle of Life and then Sursa. That's not bad. We have Elf. So we have Dwarf and Relic in our hand. It'll be a while till that happens though. Okay, yeah, now we can. We're gonna kill this off. We could Circle of Life. Then Sursa. We also just Invigorate first and see if we can protect some of our cards. We also Fauve into Rebuke. I think we have one left still. And let's see what we have here. Okay, this Watcher's pretty big. Sheldon does 4. And we can go for let's do this. He has a bombardment coming. Let's just play the defender. The Mahakam defender, not the defender type. Because we're gonna have it buff up our dryads here. And that's nice because it helps us maybe survive bombardment a little better. If he plays another reinforced ballista, I'm gonna be pretty sad. He's gonna go Amphibious Assault reinforced ballista, even better. And there it is. I'd like to rebuke. There's the bombardment. Hopefully it doesn't kill off all of our... Oh yeah, I really wanted to hit our stuff there. Alright, with those 2 reinforced ballistas, I don't really see how we're winning the game. We're gonna give it a run anyway. We can Sheldon one of them away.
Aye, aye, soon as I finish my pipe.
It's pretty good. Sursa and Circle of Life are gonna be kind of hard to fit in here. Vanard Student, I do want that to die.
With a fire spell.
So he probably has, I'm guessing he has Onsace and Saltkirk left, which is pretty annoying as well. Let's see, Siege Mages, what else is he gonna have? Probably a Gerhardt. Probably a Gerhardt. Please go Circle. What about Circle's Death Blow? I guess we could pull out a Watcher and set up the Bonded. That might not be bad. Let's just play this here. Let's just play this. There's no reason to have the Bonded. It's gonna be too slow. He's just gonna see it coming and kill it. But this way, hopefully, we get a lot of turns of bleeding. That's pretty good value. We don't need the damage Bonded. There's 7 turns left, so the 7 bleeding will go off. Actually, 6 turns left, so we got 6 of it. It's pretty good value. I don't really want to pull out with our Call the Forest into the Watcher. I'd rather get Mahakam Defender. Maybe even Aglace. Aglace is only play for 6 though. I think the fighter would be better. We're kind of running out of turns to play stuff here, which is annoying. The problem here is this banned art student can kind of negate our Whisperer, or not Whisperer, Double Fauna Sorceress. So that's a problem. There's the Selkirk I mentioned. I'm going to have this. Probably also on Sace. Maybe a Shanny as well. Let's see a duel here. Gonna go even bigger. Okay, so he does. What the? Okay, that was a misclick. That has to be a misclick. Yeah, that has to be a misclick. That's good for us then, that he wasted his duel. I think he was making it taller just to hit our Watcher down so we don't have bonded. Then he clicked the wrong guy. So that's nice. Let's go Fav. Student's getting some damage up. I think Rebuke's the most value here. We don't want... Actually, let's hit this. He has Varaxis reset left. That's why he won't be able to Varaxis the duel. Stopping the student's pretty nice as well. It's a pretty tough decision, but he has Varaxis, so I don't really want to get dueled again from 9. I'm going to try and kill off our defender. Okay, there's our Circle of Life target, though. I mentioned this earlier. If he plays Ballista, we can do this. Where's our Torque? Really wanted to hit the Sorceress. Be a little more protection, but didn't. Okay, yeah, so we reset, or we damaged down his Selkirk, so we don't get the big duel. That saved us a lot of points. What else does he have? I don't think, if he already used both of his Leer charges, he doesn't have on Sace. There's a lock. Not going to do much for him, but he can wait. Sursa, I don't think we're going to get Death Blow off on. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So she's just going to play for 6. Well, she'll play for 6 plus 2 damage plus 1 on the Harmony. Let's just play her first so we can bait the lock. Or we go Sorceress. Let's go Sorceress. We'll go Sorceress or Sorceress. We'll just damage this guy again in case he boosts him. But hopefully we can bait the lock on Sursa and then get Sorceress's order off. But he's probably going to hit it with the Ban Art Student. That'll be fairly annoying. So he doesn't have on Sace. Probably has Gerhardt. Maybe Alumni. Gerhardt Alumni is possible. Yeah, use your lock here. Come on. I want you to do it. Nice. Oh, what's he played so far? What's he have left? He has a lot of provisions left, actually. Probably has, yeah, Gerhardt Varaxis, I'm guessing, where his last cards are. The other one, I'm not sure. Could be on Sace. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. So this is going to play for basically nothing here, but we have to play it. So we're up by 10. Torque's at 14. That's not bad. Maybe we have a chance still. Was he going to reset Gerhardt? Resetting Gerhardt gives him probably another 8 points. If he does, or 9 points if he does it on the student. Plus a 15, and then we have a 14. That balances out. His last card could be another Siege Engine. Might be not pretty small. I think he wins here, but he's close, probably. Never mind, it's an automatic loss. He was Bloody Baron. And then he still has Varaxis, so it's double reset Baron. His game was lost from the very beginning then, but whatever. Good job, man. We'll just throw this down, and this will be a loss here. This is Varaxis for sure. And then, yeah, double reset. There's no way we can win this game. Not with our deck. Unfortunate. Yeah, and there it is. Unfortunate, but we'll try again. See if we can't get a good game in here. Game 3, this will be the last one here. Let's see what we have here. Victor Prokhorov. Probably said that wrong. Now, question here, is this Vi? Probably Vi. It could be Death Wish? Rare Shadows, maybe he's playing full Death Wish. Maybe he is. That'd be pretty neat if he is. But that's kind of interesting. I think we played it. Did we play it? I'm not sure. If we didn't play it, I'll make a video on it. recorded a whole bunch of videos here at the beginning. Not sure if it's one of the ones that is up yet or not. Defender. I'm saying Defender is confusing. It's Mahakam Defender, but not a Defender card. So let's look at our hand. We have Valandreville. We have our Sheldon. Just two of our big payoff cards. Again, I don't think this is certainly not an optimized deck or anything. But if you're playing Handbuff, you're probably just run as many Handbuffs as possible. And you're always going to need at least one of these 3 cards in hand for the big payoffs. I don't mind too much. Him not triggering that yet makes me think he might have the steel card. Maruva, whatever her name is. We want. But there's not much to do about it, right? Like, what else will we play? Let's give him if he has it, he's going to take our Hawker Smuggler right here. Then consume and take our next card. We should have played Dunka first, even though it seems worse. Actually, we shouldn't have. The thing is, if he steals Dunka, he can't buff cards in his hand because she only buffs Scoia cards. But then again, he has the 3 damage ordered. I think I'd rather have him not have that. Okay, so this kind of looks like Death Wish. Maybe someone's playing Death Wish with the new expansion coming out. Drago Larvas. Or maybe it is pure Death Wish. Pretty cool then. Doesn't look like Vi yet. I think Vi would have set up more consumes. Now, I really want to just Fauve into our Call of Forest, into our last Hawker Smuggler, but we won't do that yet. We'll set up the... okay. Okay, here's the plan. What if we just... I'm really curious. We just go down to 4 and do that. How much carryover we get. I want to try it. This is definitely not the optimal way to play this game. I just want to see how many points we get. Where is Smuggler? There's Smuggler. Yeah, we'll just play down to 4. She gives a lot of buffs. Should be fun. Should be fun.
Show me the coin or sod off.
And Valandreville, just don't get too big Valandreville and we'll be fine here. Torque's on the far right, by the way. So even better, we can use stuff like this to buff him up. Pretty nice. And we still have access to our Circle of Life here. Strike this guy. Buff Torque again. Look at these buffs. There's so many buffs. Our hand's getting so strong. What's he going to do? Like, look at the power of these cards. What is he going to do against this? Our round 3 is going to be so powerful. A 13, 14, 50? Pretty crazy. Obviously, we have to pass here. Go for this fun plan. I think he's just playing pure Death Wish. So, we'll keep this. There's a Maxi. Probably gonna see if he can get his Ruin or something.
No magic can.
Sweet Ithline. Oh, that's what I like. Battle Harvest again's nice. Watcher, not so great. Rebukes, I don't think we want if it's Death Wish. Let's go with this hand. But look at this, we already have our Sheldon's at 13, our Flandrail is 14, a little too high, and there's a Torque. It's pretty high too. Yeah, Frightener makes sense if he's playing pure Death Wish. So that won't be too bad. But our hand's so good here. We still have the Invigorates too. Let's go for those. Flandrail's already too big. It's kind of unlucky. But we're buffing so much, it was kind of expected for that to happen. Let's go again. So the other thing is, the reason I put back both Rebukes, other than probably not wanting control, is I need a double of a bronze for Simlas. It's Bountiful. Let's actually play this Defender. No, Ithline.
Now is the time.
See how big we can get this.
And
Look at this hand. We have a 16-point Sheldon, so he does 10 damage. We have an 18-point Valandreville, so he's going to make whatever he gets. And then we have a 21-point Torque. So many points. It's going to be crazy. Except, oh no, he's playing Rat Clog. We overlooked this. Well, maybe our units are big enough to win still. It's going to be rough, though. Man, I can't believe I forgot Rat Clog was a thing. I thought he was being cool and playing Death Wish. Alright, so what do? What do? We have to play our big units early, so we don't get clogged out. Then we save any specials. So Simla says double rebuke. The question is, do we kill this or not? I don't think we do. Honestly, we need this defender out early, I think. We just want as many points as possible. He's not going to be able to fully clog us yet. And the thing is, we still have last say, so after he Glusty Warps, we can play one more card. There's another Noon Wraith. Let's see. I think we want to see what Phalangeville gets us.
Pride is all we've left.
Shaping Nature is pretty solid. And obviously, we need the highest points possible, so we're picking the Vitality one here. He still needs a couple more Noon Wraiths, so we have a couple turns. Sapper, I don't want to play, I don't think. Watcher is probably the other card we don't want to play. Simlas Double Rebuke is an option. We have safe last play for Torque, because he's going to play Glusty Warp. So he's getting to the point where the trigger here... You know, maybe we just play Torque now. Play Torque now. I think Sheldon's a better last play. We just hold off for Sheldon, because we need something that's going to be really tall for Sheldon, and we're going to lose value if we hit these. There's the Ritual Sacrifice. We saw that coming, for sure. Now he's going to do double leader charge. There's one. There's two, eventually. Alright, so we're short on space. We could just Sheldon now. I want to make... When you're doing these, playing as these rat players, you want to make sure you have an odd number of units in each row. So that when they put the rats, they only put one out. Let's just hit here. No death blow for us. We're going to trigger his thing, that's fine. I guess we hit here. We're up by 50, but it's not enough, because he's going to have Jotun, and he's going to have Glusty Warp. It's going to be really close. Our hand was super buffed for this round, so we might actually have a chance, even though we got clogged. Alright, I'll be honest here. I think we have to kill that. I hate wasting Sheldon on this, but I think we just have to. Maybe not. Now he's going to consume his last one and we're going to get fully clogged. We're up by 70 though. That might be enough. There's the Jotun. We're up by 43. Watcher's probably the best choice here. Sapper we just discard. 52 points is a lot we're up by. Even though we got Rat Clogged round 3, the sheer carryover power we had might carry us through this. The one thing Handbuff does have is it has carryover, and it has a ton. Okay, Spores hurts. A lot. Let's see here. We discard the Sapper. He's no good. So he has Glusty Warp and what? Oh, and Heat Wave. Out. He's running the removals. Okay, so Glusty Warp. It's going to be close. Sursa, we could go for Death Blow here. Death Blow doesn't boost anything in our hands, so we'll just go here. We should have played Bountiful Harvest thinking about this again. Just thinking about his clogging too much. We played Bountiful Harvest first. Then we get the 2 damage. We get the 2 buff on her. And I think, okay, what's this? 6? Is this 6 also? We won if we picked, we won if we did it in the opposite order. That was a mistake. Bit rough on that last one. I really should have played those in the opposite order. We would have won the game, but it's too distracted. Oh well, it happens. What do I think about the deck? So, this will be a lot less about specific card choices and more of a general opinion of Handbuff. Handbuff's too easy to play against, and it doesn't have high enough payoff, I think, for it to be good. I don't think it is, but there is something in here that definitely does have potential. And that's the Bountiful Harvest. I think Bountiful Harvest is just really good. I'm really glad they added it. We'll see about it in other decks. I predict this will be a pretty good card, though. Other than that, I think Torque's interesting, and just think about playing Handbuff without Torque now. Wow, it's gotta hurt. I think you have to play Devotion, which I think hurts. Of course, if you really want to be a meme lord, you can just play Curse Scroll, draw Torque, and then play Sayana. Is that her name? Sayana, and double up on like Aglace and stuff. You could. Curse Scroll into Torque might be a thing. I wouldn't do it. But it might be a thing we could do for fun. But yeah, overall, I think Handbuff's not going to be very good. And I think it'll be like okay, maybe, but not very good. Obviously, this is far from an optimized deck list. Maybe with an optimized deck list, it's better. But this is just all the buff cards. I want to have some fun trying it out. Hopefully you guys have some fun watching too. So we'll see you next time. Hopefully you enjoyed.